Hello, Bhavna.
Yes, ma'am.
I have unmuted only you,
Ah,
Nana. Are you able to hear me?
oh, yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Since Bhargav is also there, no, ma'am.
No. She is also in mute only.
Okay.
Okay. If you want. Hello.
Hello, ma'am.
My everyone, mute your videos, Nana. There is a lot of disturbance. Okay. Bhavna.
Yes, ma'am.
See that only yours will be in the unmute mode. Okay. So if there is
Okay.
any disturbance in the video, then you intimate me. Okay, Nana?
Oh, okay, ma'am.
Okay. Good afternoon, Ma. Good
Good
afternoon, dear.
afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon,
Good afternoon, dear students. So today we are going to discuss about one topic, that is corrosion. This is the second part of the third unit. Abhilash. This is the second part of the third unit. Second part of the third unit. And coming to the corrosion, so you might have observed that whenever we will place any iron article or iron rod in the environment, after 2 to 3 days, what will happen to that is it will be completely covered with one rust color, a rust color, that is a brown color layer which will be covering over the iron article. That is due to the corrosion. Now, what is meant by the corrosion? You know corrosion, but what is the exact chemical definition of the corrosion? That we will discuss, and we will start with that. Okay. So corrosion is the process of disintegration or degradation of a metal by the chemical or electrochemical attack of the surrounding environment. That is degradation or deterioration of a material, especially metals. That what will happen is some of the metal, some part of the metal will undergo deterioration, that the metal will convert into its derivative, maybe of a oxide or maybe of carbonate or chloride. Like that, the pure metal will be converted to its derivative by the chemical or electrochemical attack of the surrounding environment, and that we call it as the corrosion. Now coming to the units of the corrosion, like mostly all the metals will be corroded because of the oxide formation. So when we are measuring the corrosion, then we will measure the thickness of the oxide layer, and we will express that in terms of either milli-inch per year, means how much milli-inches of rust is formed on the iron, or milliamperes per meter square. So this is the unit for the corrosion. Now we all know that metals will be corroded, but what is the reason behind the corrosion of the metals? That we will discuss with this diagram. So here you all know that metals will not be available in the earth crust directly. Either they will be available in the form of their carbonates, chlorides, or oxides, means in the form of their derivatives, which we call it as a ore. So metals will be extracted from their ores by giving some energy, so that whatever the metals we are obtaining by the extraction, always they will be having some higher energy than their ore. And you all know that if anything is having higher energy, then obviously its stability will be less. So that metals, whenever they are exposed to the environment, always they will try to get the stability by converting themselves into their derivative. So during the corrosion, what will happen? The metals again convert back into their derivatives, so that they will get the stability. So because of the high energy of the metal, always metals will try to convert to their products, that is we known it as the corrosion. And always corrosion is the oxidation process, and it is the reverse of the extraction of the metals from their ore. Okay, now coming to some of the examples which we come across under corrosion is different kinds of corrosions are rusting of iron. You might have observed, like this image is also showing that iron is converting to the rust. So this is the chemical formula of the rust, that is Fe2O3H2O. This is the hydrated form of ferric oxide, are known as ferric hydroxide. So that is the formula of rust. Slowly, in presence of moisture, iron will convert to the rust. And what is the problem if iron is undergoing rust? You all know that we are using for the construction purpose either steel or iron. And you know one thing that is specifically for the iron, 1/3 of the iron is undergoing deterioration than its production. That is, 1/3 of its total production of iron is undergoing deterioration in the form of the rust. So that we will have $1,000,000 of damage, maybe because of the rusting of buildings, vehicles, and other iron and steel products. So this is the big damage to the economy. Coming to the tarnishing of copper, generally you might have observed that whenever copper is having the presence of water, and when it is exposed to the environment in presence of water, then you can observe one green color layer which is formed on the iron. That is because of the copper carbonate, and this is known as the tarnishing of copper. Now coming to the tarnish of silver. So when silver articles are exposed to the environment hydrogen sulfide will attack on the silver, and it will convert the silver into silver sulfide, and which is a black color layer. But that will be easily removed by polishing the silver. There won't be any loss for the silver because of the tarnishing of silver. And coming to the aluminum, corrosion of the aluminum, mostly aluminum will be converted to its oxide. Aluminum oxide layer is always formed on the surface of aluminum. Now coming to different types of corrosion, this is very important topic for you. That is the types of corrosion. Like corrosion may be taking place either in presence of the water or in absence of the water. Means in presence of moisture, it is known as wet corrosion, and in absence of moisture it is known as the dry corrosion. So based on the presence of moisture, corrosion can be classified into wet corrosion and dry corrosion. So coming to the definitions of the wet and dry corrosion, wet corrosion is known as aqueous corrosion or electrochemical corrosion, which will takes place in presence of moisture or water, and this is due to the attack of the electrochemical attack of the environment. Means it will takes place only in presence of electrolyte. Electrochemical cell is formed on the surface of the metal. How electrochemical cell is formed? For that we need one anode, one cathode, and one electrolyte. So here whatever the moisture is there in the air or any solution is there in the air, that will act as the electrolytic solution, and so that on the surface of metal electrochemical cells are formed and the metal will undergo corrosion. This we will discuss later in the next slides. And coming to the another type of corrosion, that is the dry corrosion, and this is purely in absence of the moisture, and this is by the attack of the chemicals, by the attack of oxygen, nitrogen, halogen, carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, and some of the inorganic liquids. If they attack on the metal surface, then the metal will leads to the corrosion, and that is known as the dry corrosion or gaseous corrosion. Generally it will takes place at higher temperatures, whereas wet corrosion will takes place at the normal temperature, at the room temperature itself. Now we will discuss in detail about one by one all the different types of the corrosion. So coming to the first type of corrosion, that is a dry or chemical corrosion. So dry corrosion, the name itself is indicating that is by the chemical attack. This type of corrosion will take place by the direct chemical attack on the metal surface in absence of the moisture. And what chemicals will attack on the metal is oxygen, halogen, oxides of sulfur, oxides of nitrogen, hydrogen sulfide, and fumes of some chemicals with the metal. So when all these will attack on the metal will convert to their derivatives. If oxygen will attack, metal will convert to metal oxide. Halogen will attack, metal will convert to their halides, metal halides. So like that, metals will be converted to its derivatives by the attack of the chemicals in the dry or chemical corrosion. And here especially the extent of the dry corrosion will mainly based upon the chemical affinity of the metals. If the metals are highly active with the gases, then the extent of the corrosion will be high. And if the metals are unreactive with the halogens or with the gases, then the extent of corrosion will be less. Purely here, the interaction between the metal and gas plays an important role in the extent of corrosion. So here again, based on the attacking species, dry corrosion will be converted to three different types, that is oxidation corrosion, corrosion by other gases, liquid metal corrosion. With the name itself, that is indicating that oxidation corrosion means the attacking of oxygen, atmospheric oxygen on the metal surface. And if the corrosion is by the attacking of the other than oxygen, then that is known as the corrosion by other gases. And if any liquid metal is attacking or coming in contact with the metal, then that is known as a liquid metal corrosion. So we will discuss in detail one by one. First, coming to the oxidation corrosion, that is already we have discussed that this type of corrosion will takes place when the this type of corrosion will takes place when the atmospheric oxygen attack on the metal surface, the two in absence of the moisture. Okay, most of the metals will undergo oxidation corrosion at higher temperatures. Okay, but alkali and alkaline earth metals, they will undergo oxidation corrosion at normal room temperatures. That will be based on the type of metal oxide layer which is formed on the metal. So that we will further discuss. There are some exception where the metals, noble metals like silver, gold, platinum, these are known as the noble metals because they will not be oxidized. Means oxide layer will not be formed on these metals. So they will not undergo oxidation corrosion. That will be mainly based on the type of metal oxide layer. All the metals will undergo oxidation corrosion at high temperatures, but alkali and alkaline earth metals, that is first A and second A group elements, they will undergo oxidation corrosion even at the room temperature. They are highly active towards the oxygen. Now how this oxidation corrosion will take place, that we will discuss with this mechanism. Now here the metals are highly electropositive, means metal easily undergo oxidation to form this metal ion, and some amount of electrons will be released. Then the atmospheric oxygen will gain that electrons and it will convert it to oxide layer, so that the overall reaction will become like this: metal plus half oxygen gives rise to metal oxide. This formula of metal oxide will be based on the type of metal and oxidation state of the metal. Now here, according to this equation, initially on the metal surface, when atmospheric oxygen will attack, first a single layer of metal oxide scale is formed. After that, the extent of the further oxide layer formation will be based on how the metal is diffusing out of the metal oxide layer and how the oxide is diffusing inside of the metal oxide layer. Means that will be purely based on the nature of metal oxide layer. So initially, by the attack of atmospheric oxygen, a single metal oxide layer is formed, and further extent of corrosion will be completely based on the type of this metal oxide scale which is formed initially. So now we will discuss based on the type of metal we are having different extension of corrosion, whether further corrosion will take place on the metal or not, that will be completely decided by this metal oxide scale. So now coming to the different types of metal oxide layer, some of the metal oxide layers are stable. Means after the formation of metal oxide layer, they will firmly stick on to the metal surface, so that they will act as a protective layer over the metal surface, and that will prevent the further oxidation of the metals. For example, metal oxide layers formed on lead, aluminum and tin, these will form stable metal oxide layer. Hence, further oxidation will not take place on this metal, and instead that oxide layer will act as a protective layer. Now coming to the alkali and alkaline earth metals, for them the metal oxide layer is the porous, means some small holes will be present on the metal oxide layer, so that what will happen is the atmospheric oxygen further will attack through the pores into the underlying metal, and it will convert the total metal into its metal oxide. Means the oxidation of the metal will continue until the total metal will convert to its oxide. So here in this case, the oxidation or corrosion rate will be high. That's why the reason, because of the porous oxide film only, first year, second year group elements will undergo high oxidation. Now coming to the molybdenum oxide layer, this is volatile. Volatile means anything which will be evaporated. So on molybdenum layer, if once molybdenum oxide is formed, easily it will be evaporated. Why it will be evaporated? Because the molybdenum oxide is volatile. So as soon as it is formed, it will be evaporated. So that what will happen, again molybdenum metal will be exposed to the oxygen, so further corrosion will take place. So this also will continue, means conversion of molybdenum into molybdenum oxide will continue until the total molybdenum will convert to its oxide, because the formed oxide is the volatile. And coming to the noble metals like gold, silver, platinum, they will form unstable metal oxide layer. Means as soon as the metal oxide layer is formed, it will again decompose to form the pure metal and oxygen. So that what will happen, again we will get the free metal surface. Again if it is formed also, easily it will decompose, so there won't be any damage to the metal, and hence these metals like gold, silver, platinum, they are known as the noble metals. Now next type of dry corrosion, that is the corrosion by other gases. So other than oxygen, if any other gases, atmospheric gases will attack on the metal surface, that will comes under this category, like maybe chlorides, sulfur dioxide, means halogens, or not only chlorine, all the halogens, sulfur dioxide, hydrogen sulfide and nitrogen oxides will attack on the metal to convert the metals into their chlorides, their sulfates, their sulfides and their nitrates and nitrites. So here also the extent of corrosion will be based on the type of metal and gas layer. So if the corrosive layer is protective, then extent of corrosion will be less. And if the layer is non-protective, protective and non-protective, this will be based on the type of layer. That is, if the layer is porous, then it will act as the non-protective layer, and if the layer is non-porous, then it will act as the protective layer. It will be reverse. For example, dry chlorine attacks on the silver to form the silver chloride, and it is non-porous, hence it will act as the protective layer. Whereas tin chloride is volatile, means tin chloride layer is evaporating as soon as it is formed. So this is more dangerous. Tin chloride layer is more dangerous, whereas silver chloride will act as a protective layer. The other type of corrosion, dry corrosion, is liquid metal corrosion. And generally this type of corrosion will take place, that is in case of mercury, like whenever any liquid metal is flowing on the solid metal. Like for example, if we are having an iron metal, on the surface of iron metal, like liquid aluminum or liquid any other metal is flowing on it, then what will happen is, liquid metal means it is having very high temperature. So whenever any liquid metal is flowing on the solid metal, then what will happen is, here the possibility of corrosion in two ways. One is the liquid metal may penetrate into the solid metal, so that corrosion will take place. And because of the high temperature of liquid metal, sometimes solid metal may dissolve into the liquid metal. So this will also leads to the corrosion. So here corrosion possibility is in two ways: by the dissolution of the liquid into the solid, or by the penetration of liquid into the solid, or by the dissolution of the solid into the liquid. In both the cases, the corrosion will take place. And for example, liquid metal mercury dissolves most of the metals. Like the combination of mercury with any other metal is known as the amalgam. So because of the mercury liquid, here the corrosion will takes place and they will convert to the amalgams. Now coming to the wet corrosion, this is the second type of corrosion. This is the second type of corrosion which will takes place in presence of moisture. So in presence of moisture, listen carefully, this is very important topic in total corrosion chapter. So this is electrochemical corrosion. It is also known as the electrochemical corrosion, because on the surface of metal itself, electrochemical cell is formed. For that, what we required is anode, cathode and one electrolytic solution. For example, if iron metal comes in contact with any acid material, liquid, or any acid, any base or any salt solution, then what will happen? That liquid will act as a medium or electrolyte, so that it will allow the flow of ions. So we have got the electrolytic solution. And on the metal surface itself, one part of the metal surface will act as the anode, the other place of the metal will act as the cathode. Means on the surface of metal itself, anode and cathode are formed, and in presence of any liquid medium, an electrochemical cell will be formed on the surface of metal. Hence the wet corrosion is known as the electrochemical corrosion, and this is the most common type of corrosion. And this will occur when the metal comes in contact with a conducting liquid. When a single metal or when two metals combinedly exposed to the liquid medium, then wet corrosion will take place. Now here the chemical in the environment and humidity. Humidity means moisture, because it is taking in place in presence of moisture, that will act as the electrolyte. So one part of the metal, as I told you, one part of the metal will act as anode, and always at anode oxidation reaction will take place. Oxidation means there the metal will undergo oxidation and it will produce a metal ion, and along with that it will liberate some ions. So that is the oxidation taking place at one part of the metal which is acting as the anode, and at the other part that will act as the cathode. There the reduction reaction will takes place. So always according to this reaction, the metal is dissoluting at anodic part. Means in the electrochemical corrosion, always remember anodic part will undergo corrosion, whereas cathodic part will be protected from the corrosion. And the metal will dissolute in the form of ions at the anodic part, and at the cathodic part some non-metallic ions will be formed from the liquid which is coming in contact with the metals. Okay, so whatever the electrons are produced by the oxidation, that electrons will move through the metal from anode to cathode. Listen ma carefully. From anode to cathode, the electrons will move from anodic part of the metal to the cathodic part of the metal. At anode we are having the metallic ions, and at cathode we are having the non-metallic ions. Both these ions will migrate towards each other in the liquid medium, because here the liquid medium is acting as the electrolyte, and metallic ions and non-metallic ions, both of them will combine in between the anode and cathode, and they will form the corrosion product. So here always corrosion will take place at anode, cathode will be protected from the corrosion, and corrosion product will be formed in between the anode and cathode. So the mechanism of the corrosion will take place in two ways, that is evolution of the hydrogen or absorption of oxygen. This will be purely based on the medium or electrolytic solution which is coming in contact with the metal. That is evolution of hydrogen means, this is the type of corrosion which will takes place in the acidic medium, and in presence of basic medium or neutral medium, absorption of oxygen type of mechanism will takes place. This mechanism of the wet corrosion is very important. Now coming to the evolution of hydrogen type of mechanism. Bhavna?
Yes, ma'am. Hello?
Ma, are you able to hear me? Is there any disturbance?
Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. No,
Okay.
ma'am. No disturbance.
Okay. Listen, Nana. So the first type of mechanism in the wet corrosion is evolution of hydrogen type. All of you look at this picture. This is the iron metal surface. So on the iron metal surface, when it is exposed to any acidic solution, for explaining the mechanism of evolution of hydrogen type, we are taking the example of rusting of iron. So iron metal, when it is exposed to any acidic solution, maybe HCl or sulfuric acid, whatever may be the acid, whenever the iron metal is exposed to the acidic solution, some small part of the metal, here I have labeled, that small part will act as the cathode, whereas the remaining part of the metal, other than this cathodic small part, the remaining part of the metal will act as anodic part. So at the anodic part, here anodic part is large, whereas cathodic part is small. So at anodic part, what will happen? The iron will oxidize to form Fe plus 2 and 2 electrons. So here, whatever the Fe plus 2 are formed, that will immediately dissolute into the acidic solution, electrolyte. Whereas the electrons, whatever are produced, they will move through the metal to the cathodic part from the right side as well as from the left side also.
Hello? Hello? Ma'am? Some disturbance is coming.
Now I have muted.
Okay.
Now is it coming, Nana?
Yes, ma'am.
Now is it okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. So whatever the electrons are produced at the anode, they will migrate towards the cathode through the metal, because here metal will act as a conductor. So it will allow the flow of electrons from anode to cathode. And here at the cathode, what reaction will take place is, at the cathode, the hydrogen ions of the acid that will gain the electrons and convert to hydrogen gas. So this reaction will take place at the cathode. Now what is happening at the anode? Fe converted to Fe plus 2 and it will dissolve into the liquid. Whereas at the cathode, hydrogen gas is evolved. So that reactions I will explain in the next slide. Like here you can observe iron at the anode that will oxidize to give the Fe plus 2. And the H plus ions at the cathode that will gain, and here hydrogen gas is evolved at the cathode. So hydrogen gas is evolved in the reaction, hence this mechanism is known as the evolution of hydrogen type of mechanism. So coming to the overall reaction, Fe plus 2H plus gives rise to Fe plus 2 plus H2. So if you observe here also, the corrosion is taking place. Metal is deteriorating or decomposing or converting to some other form at anodic part. Now coming to the second type of mechanism, that is absorption of oxygen type of mechanism, and this mechanism will take place when the iron surface is exposed to the basic or neutral medium. So here always iron metal surface will be covered by its oxide layer. So whatever this layer is there, that layer is the iron oxide layer, which will be protecting always iron metal surface to expose from the environment. Okay, so for example, sometimes what will happen, by any case, if there is any crack in the iron oxide layer, here you can observe there is no iron oxide layer at this place. So this small part will act as the anodic part, whereas the remaining part of the iron metal surface, which is properly covered or protected by the iron oxide layer, that will act as the cathodic part. Now coming to the reactions are same. At anodic part, obviously iron undergoes oxidation to form the Fe plus 2 and 2 electrons. The electrons will move through the metal from anodic part to the cathodic part, whereas the Fe plus 2 ions will enter into the liquid, neutral or basic liquid, because this is the absorption of oxygen type of mechanism. So always iron metal surface is protected by its iron oxide layer, and by any chance if that protective layer is broken, that part will act as the anodic part, whereas the remaining part of the iron, which is properly covered and protected by the iron oxide layer, that will act as the cathodic part. So in this case, anode is small whereas cathode is large. Now coming to the reactions, at anode, oxidation of iron, and at cathode, the electrons will move from anode to cathode. There, in presence of moisture, the atmospheric oxygen will convert to hydroxide ions. So this reaction is the reduction reaction. Now the overall reaction is Fe plus 2 plus 2OH minus gives rise to FeOH taken twice. Initially ferrous hydroxide is formed, and in presence of excess of oxygen, then this ferrous hydroxide converts to ferric hydroxide, and hydrated ferric hydroxide, this is known as the rust. So initially ferrous hydroxide is formed, and if there is excess of oxygen, then that will convert to ferric hydroxide, and which is known as the rust. So finally rust is formed on the iron metal surface. So till now we have discussed about the dry corrosion and wet corrosion. In wet corrosion, the mechanism is important, that is, in presence of acidic solution, in presence of acidic medium, evolution of hydrogen type of mechanism will take place. That is where cathodic part is small and anodic part is large. Whereas in presence of basic medium or neutral medium, absorption of oxygen type of mechanism will take place where anodic area is small and cathodic area is large. So observe this reaction mechanism properly, because this is what the main reaction behind the formation of rust on any metal. This is the main equation. Like at anodic part, iron will dissolute into Fe+2 with the liberation of 2 electrons, which is an oxidation reaction. And at cathode, in presence of atmospheric moisture, oxygen will convert to hydroxide ions. This is a reduction reaction. So the overall reaction, initially ferrous hydroxide is formed, and further oxidation of the ferrous hydroxide, ferric hydroxide is formed. And this ferric hydroxide is known as the rust. Now coming to other different types of mechanisms, different types of corrosion mechanisms. Among that, one is important, that is the galvanic corrosion. So galvanic corrosion, we have discussed about galvanic cell in the electrochemistry, how a galvanic cell is formed, where copper sulfate is placed in the copper sulfate solution, zinc rod will be placed in the zinc sulfate solution, and both of them will be connected. So that what will happen, zinc will undergo oxidation and copper will undergo reduction. Like in the same way, when two different metals are connected directly, and both of them combinedly, when they are exposed to the corrosive environment, then what will happen is, among the two metals, only one metal will undergo corrosion, whereas the other metal will be protected from the corrosion. This will be completely based on their oxidation potentials. Like for example, here the same example we are going to take. When zinc rod and copper rod, both of them are combined, and combinedly when they are exposed to any of the electrolyte, then what will happen is, here as zinc is having high oxidation potential than copper, zinc will act as the anode. So at anode, oxidation reaction will take place. Anodic metal is zinc here. So anode will undergo oxidation. Zn gives rise to Zn+2 plus 2 electrons. Whereas cathodic metal means the electrons which are produced at the zinc, that will move towards the copper, and the copper ions will gain the 2 electrons, and copper ions will convert to copper metal by the reduction reaction. So here what is happening, zinc is converting to Zn+2. So the oxidation reaction is taking place at the zinc, means zinc is undergoing corrosion, whereas copper will be protected from the corrosion. In this way, in galvanic corrosion, if two dissimilar metals are combined, and when both of them are exposed to the corrosive environment, the metal which is having high oxidation potential will act as the anodic part, and that will undergo corrosion, whereas the metal with less oxidation potential will act as the cathode, and that will be protected from the corrosion. Shall I continue?
Yes, ma'am.
Shall I continue, ma, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Hello?
There's some disturbance, ma'am.